This program is funded by the European Union.
To our audience worldwide, good evening and welcome to GCCI Business Matters. I am Malik M. Jallo. Encouraging, guiding and supporting women to venture into different sectors of the economy advances economic inclusivity and growth as well as equal opportunity. The Gambia Women Chamber of Commerce is set out to advocate such, and joining us in today's conversation is Mrs. Nafi Barry, the president of the Gambia Women Chamber of Commerce. Mrs. Barry, welcome to GCCI Business Matters.
Thank you, Malik.
Great. First of all, we would like you to help us to guide us through the activities. What is it about the Gambia Women Chamber of Commerce? What brings its existence about, and how does it execute its mandate, its responsibility to supporting women to venture into different sectors of the economy in terms of business?
Thank you, Malik, and thank you for inviting me to this important forum.
You're welcome.
First and foremost, the Gambia Women's Chamber of Commerce was conceived because of the need for women to be included in socio-economic development of this country. As you rightly know, we the women are almost 51 or 52% of the population. So if we're not included, if we are not part of anything, I think the success of that would really not be achieved. So considering that, when you talk in the Gambia, when we say business, I mean, your mind would just go to the men. It's a fact. You just think about the men. But there are a few women that are engaged in business, but you can count them. And really, out of a population of almost 3 million, if you can really count, you know, the number of women engaged in business, it's not much. So it was as a result of this, I'm sure GCCI that have invited us would really tell you that the participation of women then as members of a chamber were very limited. But because of these shortcomings, we thought it is important to create a special chamber dedicated. You know, sometimes you must dedicate certain efforts to bring about success. We looked at the environment and thought that really if we look out for women and try to provide services, I mean, we provide them with awareness. We raise their awareness. Hitherto, many women were not even registered as businesses. They had businesses running, either suitcase, not even, most of them, maybe 90% of them were not then registered. One of the criteria that we used when we opened up for membership was that you must be a registered business. And it is from there that formalization starts. They formalize, you know, go to the municipalities, go to GRA, pay their dues, and then come back for them to be registered to become members. Number two, it was also to provide visibility for them. Most of the businesses as we had, especially those run by women that we are really concerned about, were not visible. They were hardly trained. They hardly even know the concepts of what business is all about. So these are the things that we provide as services to the women. We looked at the vulnerabilities. Now, what are major ones are really their access to land, their access to finance, without collateral, without anything. I mean, these are the things that we have been trying to bring about so that it brings about change and growth for their businesses.
I would have a question to follow up on that, but before I do that, I want to know what is the relationship between the Gambia Women Chamber of Commerce and the Gambia Chamber of Commerce itself? Is it a subsidiary? Is it an extension of it, or is it just an affiliate? What is the relationship?
It is not an affiliate. What we have is, we recognize the Gambia Chamber of Commerce as the umbrella chamber in this country, because as you rightly know, there are other chambers as well, small ones dealing with particular sectors of society. For example, you have the Youth Chamber, you have the American Chamber, you have, but the focuses are, okay, chambers are chambers, but the focuses are a bit different. Now, recognizing the fact that GCCI has been here for the past 50-something years, what we did when we set up was to become a member of the GCCI, and we've been paying our dues, subscription like any other member, so that we get close to them. But we are not an affiliate, because yes, we are chambers, but basically what we do, sometimes they are at the macro level, if you like. And for us, we're trying to bring in a very important segment of society, those that are, you know, the micro, small businesses, to really, one, formalize them, two, teach them on, you know, how to grow their businesses, and ultimately become successful businesses or success stories, as you would want to call them. So this is a difference. Whilst at the bigger chamber, maybe they're concerned with more macro issues, the likes of imports, exports, taxation, you know, and other taxations and other things that hinder businesses in this country. For us, we're trying to lift the women from where they are to become prominent members of society or businesses.
Great. Let's dive deeper into that micro segment there. You mentioned very important issues, some of them which are general challenges that all businesses face in this country. For instance, access to land and access to finance. Now, this is especially going to be tougher for women, given the fabric of society and other things related. But formalization, visibility, the nature of women businesses in this country is so micro to some extent that their contribution or the impact is very insignificant. I mean, if I am right, I don't know. So how do you lift these women that are, for instance, have no business strategy, they have no thought, they have no idea, like you mentioned? What is their attitude when you approach them with this idea that they can come on board, and there is training, access to finance? How do you go about that? What ways are in place to help them access to finance and also land? How do you guys go about that?
Malik, you'll be surprised that the women are very interested in growing their businesses. What we have been having, we were set up in 2019, and we have since, our major activity is training.
Okay.
What we have been doing mainly is training. And training on what? We have been training on how to use phones to do their businesses. Because when we started in 2019, we were barely 6 months when COVID struck, and it got worse. They could not sell their produces, and a lot of problems arose. What we did was to have a platform and ask everybody, if you are not educated, your son or your daughter is, and in that platform, once you become a member, I mean, English is spoken, but also local languages. Through that, we were able to have them to network, showcase what they have, the products. It's called Marsa GWCC. It's a platform that we use.
Is it a website?
No, just a platform.
Okay.
We have our website.
Okay.
But this platform is on WhatsApp.
Okay.
And all members, once you pay, you become a member.
Okay.
Now you're registered. Now, for them, they use it as a marketplace. It's called Marsa GWCC. What they do is they network amongst themselves to an extent that sometimes you see them doing inquiries at that particular platform. They would come and say, do you know where they sell nice suits? If the women have it, they can say, contact Nafi, contact Malik, or they would say, contact somewhere. So they use that to exchange. And through this, we have seen a lot of interactions, people knowing, because all what markets are for is for people to know that you exist, right? Now they know, they will know where to source anything they need. And indeed, they have been making a lot of sales out of that. Apart from that, we've also tried to partner with Afrijula, and there's an app, very simple. It's called, what's it called again? Anyway, it's to really streamline and show you how, what business is. I mean, it allows for you to enter the cost, the sales, and any other expenses, so that at the end of the month, it tells you what you have in terms of, and it even allows you further. So most of our members have also been exposed to that training, so they become, you know, at least on top of, it's not I bought for 1,000 and I sold for 2,000, I have $1,000 a profit. No. All the other expenses and things that matter would be put into that, and then at the end of the day, you come out and you know whether it's worth continuing your business or you. And some of them, when we started with them, were on sole businesses, but today most of them have diversified. You know, they've got into something else, either adding on or get out of what they were doing and start something else.
Different. So
something different.
You know, a lot of them, or a lot of the women, are engaged in the agricultural sector.
They are,
especially down in the provinces or the rural areas. So how do you bring those on board?
Malik, interestingly, and for the first time, I think in the Gambia, we were able to have regional chapters. The Gambia Women Chamber of Commerce created regional chapters in all the regions of this country. We have LRR, URR, all of them. And we have representatives and focal points there. So this is how we also, because like I said when we started, we're talking about inclusivity. So we want all women, irrespective of, just be a trader, just be doing business, and you are encouraged and asked to come and join us, even though it's a member-driven organization, you know. But this is what we do. For example, let me give you an example of the regional chapters, for example. For those in LRR, they were able to benefit from this multi-sector project that is being financed by UNDP, ITC, and the rest. And of course, some of the beneficiaries are the Ministry of Gender and Social Welfare. So we were able to partner with them to a point that these women that were trading along the corridors of the Senegambia and were uprooted, you know, because of the new road, got into this project and are being financed. There's an addition to the project. They are now planning to give them a grant. And this grant is really geared towards, like, you know, it's multi, if you like, because it will serve to restore their businesses. The grant would serve as access to finance, because these are grants that they're going to give them to work with, and a lot of things. So
you have actually get into the environment of the next question I was going to ask, but I will still want to be specific a little bit. So when we talk about access to finance here in this case, are you trying to help them or guide them through have access to finance domestically, or mainly through international partners that you work with? Which one is much more accessible and much more you know, present right now in the activities in terms of supporting them?
Both.
Locally,
some time ago we had a $50 million loan facility with Reliance Financial Services, and I am happy to note that some of our members were able to access those loans, even though it's still open. But some of the challenges have been the high interest rates, And then when we started with that facility, we started and COVID hit. And it was not very well but we were lucky that the few that were granted the loan, executed them successfully, but for 2, and then that have some issues.
Okay. When was that line open? When was that loan open?
It was opened, I think, in early or late 2019, if I think, or 2020.
So that facility, was it exhausted, or it wasn't exhausted?
No, it wasn't exhausted.
It wasn't exhausted.
It wasn't exhausted.
And for instance, right now, as we are speaking, how many members roughly do you have as business?
We have about 500 members.
500 members.
Yes, but from the 500 members also, maybe about 300 are active members.
Okay.
Because this is a member-driven organization that you pay subscriptions to continue to stay.
To remain.
So, to remain, yeah. So some are still there, some are still members but not paid up. But we always, times are difficult, and even though the subscription fee is not very high, we've made it very affordable, but we cannot afford not to charge that, because that is where our subsistence lies. We pay rent, we pay electricity, we pay staff, and other things. So it must be run by some funding. Yeah,
so right now, as we're speaking, if somebody who is outside and wants to join the Women Chamber of Commerce, how much is the subscription fee?
The first year is 3,000.
Okay.
And the subsequent years are 2,500.
2,500.
Yes.
So let's go back to the access to finance, because for me, I think that is very important, that empowers business.
Yes.
And you mentioned a very important point, that is the interest rate that financial institutions, whether banks or microfinance institutions, charge. So how are you finding ways to mitigate this situation? What are the workarounds to make sure that, because without access to finance, technically speaking, it's going to be it's going to be close to impossible to empower people into business.
Yes.
So what are the workarounds that you are developing at the chamber, or the remedies you are trying to figure out?
When you ask the questions, sorry, when you ask the question whether it's local or international, I said both. An example is we partnered with the International Trade Center in a project that they had, and was called the She Trades. She Trades has ended, but the government of the Gambia has undertaken the She Trades Hub.
Okay.
What it did was, when She Trades, the She Trades project came, we had a certain criteria to register women-owned businesses at that project. So our office, we used our office to help answer. First and foremost, I also forgot, we did business plans for all our members.
Okay.
If you are a member, we've trained certain members, and those are the members that now in turn would do your business plan for you. So we did business plans for them, and in most instances, when they applied to the She Trades, they were given grants. And that's also another access to finance. And the grants were as, I think, high as 250,000. In some cases, depending on the sector that you're working in, they were given machines, they were given, other equipments that would serve the purpose of their businesses. And the hub, as was undertaken by government now, and now you have also, they're giving them some funding, and we're hoping and expecting that there is also is going to continue, and there would be grants. The other part, as we're looking for towards also, is the we're trying to do a microfinance, what is it?
Credit union?
Credit union. We're trying to encourage our members to do the savings so that we can raise enough monies that would not be of high interest as the banks and other microfinance. We're in consultation with the National Credit Union Bureau, and hopefully we would have some results.
I think that's an important point.
Yes. In addition to that also, we're not sitting on our laurels. We are out and about looking for funding. It's just that, unfortunately, since we started, the environment has not been as conducive as before. But we're still continuing. We had recently, I think 2 or 3 months ago, been in contact with the African Development Bank through some projects that they have. I mean, we're using every facility that we have or access that we can get to make sure that we have money to support our women. I think you also know about Treasure Women Warriors. They've been in existence. We have similar interest, and recently they came and we signed in a memorandum of understanding, and they are in a position also to provide us some funds to be able to help some of our interested members.
That's an amazing outlook there. So I want to know, when we I've been informed that we are running out of time. I want to know what, besides what you have just explained and deliberated, I think you are doing a great work to support women, and then I know there are some challenges, but what are the specific challenges that you are facing right now as you are engaged in these activities?
Money, funds.
Funds.
Yes. I mean, we are an organization, we are non-profit, and we're all out to help women. But we have not been able to raise enough money to meet our needs. We have a strategic plan that was recently approved by the board of directors, and we wish to use that to resource mobilize. I mean, of course, the government, through the Minister of Trade, has been a wonderful partner. Most of our projects have been financed through them, the European Union, the UNDP, but we still need more, because there are a lot of things, as you rightly said, that needs to be done. So we plan to use our strategic plan and the programs that we have there to now go and look for resources wherever we can get them from.
I think that is very important, as I expected, and I think the idea of having a credit union is also a good way. And if there is a way that you can channel, if you have businesses that are actually doing good, if you can channel their sales proceed to come back to the chamber as a source of savings, which can be recycled to other members to have access to ensure a domestic mobilization in terms of that. So I'm running out of time, yes, but I will give you 1 minute to talk to the audience, those that are outside that have businesses, and to come on board, how to come on board and the importance of it.
Rightly so. That's the model we're trying to do with the Treasure Women, so that some of the proceeds would come back to the chamber. But thank you again, Mr. Jallo. It was a pleasure being with you. I think we could have spent more time, and I'll be glad to come again. But I want the Gambian people especially to know and note that the Gambia Women Chamber is in existence. We're here. Our primary focus is to make sure that we help women that are doing business. Resources, financial resources has been a challenge, and we also call on everybody to recognize us. We want recognition. It's important. The institutions, government, you know, or everybody, let us be recognized and helped. Because if you help women, they say you help a nation. And here we are trying to make sure that women contribute to the socio-economic development of this country. So I call on every Gambian to come and support the Gambia Women's Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you, Mrs. Nafibari. It was an interesting conversation. For those of you that are interested on how I look, I'm telling you, the only place to be to look this way is Tijania Fashion. Until we come your way next week, this was GCCI Business Matters. I am Malik M. Jallo.
This program was funded by the European Union.